face. He's like, okay, here's the thing. Like, I cannot answer this. Like, he totally, that's the broken brain right there. Kong food? Let's see.
Was there ever a plan to give out free crisps?
I don't think they've ever given out or thought about giving out free crisps. Although I quite like crisps.
I love crisps.
I don't think many people would argue that you can't have a decent life without free crisps.
I think I'd kill myself if I couldn't have crisps.
It was an apparently irresistible spread.
So this is like a best of Kong, okay? Not an actual section now.
Like Nutella. The Quran says, accumulating knowledge is a worthy act. So Islamic mega nerds created the first universities and libraries, comparing all the world's knowledge, which at that point could probably fit into one pamphlet, to be fair.
She acts like the worst person possible for such a show. I love it.
The ancient Egyptians thought that onions were medicine.
Holy mukbang Batman, I hate it. What do you mean? Okay.
But they're not. They literally didn't know they're onions. And that's where we get the phrase from. Of course, today we now know that onions are not a medicine. Onions are disgusting. Tudor feasts were huge.
I love onions. What are you talking about? Hello. Okay.
And often included roast goose or swan or peacock. Basically a big bird roasted whole. That might sound traumatic, but in the days before television, they didn't know big birds have a person inside.
To find out more about Tudor eating habits, I spoke to food expert Jay Rayner.
So what sort of
Even the way she sits down. That was not on purpose, I swear. I'm pretty sure. Knocking the table a little bit.
Tudor eating habits,
Look
I
at
spoke
that.
to food expert Jay Rayner.
So what sort of things did Tudor people eat at Christmas? They ate things like peacock, didn't they? What goes with peacock? What kind of gravy?
There is evidence that they ate, very exotic things, but only that would have been the very, very richest people.
I suppose the best thing about them as well is that tail, and that's not going to taste of anything, is it?
No, that's purely for display. Yeah.
A Tudor Christmas, then, they'd have peacock, like you say.
No, I think like you said.
The royals had peacock.
I don't know how much peacock was eaten in Tudor days, I'll be honest.
How did that affect their bowels? You know, what comes out of their back holes?
I don't know. I suppose if they were eating too much, it would have caused certain bowel issues.
I suppose meat, lots of meats.
Lots of meat
compacted together.
Can compact, yes.
Make sort of big hard stools.
It would have been uncomfortable, I imagine, but I'm only guessing.
Let's see, that would have been the first bit that I'd gone to if I was a food expert.
The burn as well. You know what I love about her is that there is this meme that X and Y asking the real questions. That's exactly what happens in these little like sketches. Like she just sits there with the expert who tries to keep their cool and who tries to like keep it professional, and she literally just breaks their brain with the most out of place, weird kind of thinking, weird kind of questions. Oh my god, it's so hilarious.
The early farmers grew wheat and learned to bake bread. They also grew barley, peas and lentils, so they could have made a passable vegan burger to put inside the bread. But luckily, they didn't have to. Because they'd also invented this, the fence, a high-tech wooden machine for containing animals. Humans quickly enslaved sheep, chickens, goats, and their number one enemies, the cows. Farms became a lot like zoos, except of course in a zoo you can't pick out an animal you like the look of and kill it and eat it, unless perhaps the zoo itself is struggling financially and the owners lost all hope.
By the way, I absolutely do not agree with the concept of zoos. I hate it. I hate the fact that we have several different animals all logged into one place. I understand that in some cases we actually like protect them this way. Fair, but still the idea is crazy. I think she's a great comedy continuation for Ellie G's saga. Absolutely she is. She's like Ellie G 2.0. I wouldn't want to play poker against her. Absolutely not. She would beat the hell out of me.
The world's getting hotter, isn't it? But how can we stop ourselves from turning into steam? What do we do? Should we just start eating more salad and stuff like that?
It's certainly true. We will have to adapt.
The phrasing, how can we stop ourselves from turning into steam? Nature reserves are much better. Nature reserves are great, yeah.
To a warmer climate, and we will probably have to eat different things because
Ice cream and stuff.
well, certainly as the world gets warmer, you know.
Probably going to be an ice ban though, isn't it? So we can't have ice lollies.
I don't think so. It's not that bad.
Next time on Moments of Wonder, I'll be asking, why do we cry when it's the onions that are getting hurt? If we give starving people a load of money, how do we know they're not just going to go out and blow it all on food?
If you're dealing with something,
Wow, oh my god, what a question. That you can ask this question only in a comedy sketch, because that was holy shit, and not PC at all. Like this question.
Money. How do we know they're not just going to go out and blow it all on food?
But there they.
if you're dealing with something like famine, you're always dealing through an intermediary who will be making sure the right food reaches the right people.
Do you have to be careful about people that might have like peanut allergies? Because some people haven't tried nuts before, have they?
That's a very interesting issue, whether or not peanut allergies are a sort of first world problem. Don't know, what an interesting thought.
Thank you. It was
She's actually proud of the the question. Okay, go on.
a disagreement over money, basically. It's like the situation between me and my ex, Sean. When we used to get a takeaway, or takeout, as you call it, sometimes, you know, he would always insist that we go halves. And yet he would want to buy things like onion bhajis, which he knows I hate, and they made his breath stink. So, but I had to pay for half of that. That doesn't seem fair to me. Does it to you?
Put that way, no.
No, and that's from a professor, Sean.
Getting the professor's confirmation. Oh god, okay. I love it. Oh god, there's so many nice questions here.
How did Sir Walter Raleigh invent the potato?
What? I'm sorry?
How did Sir Walter Raleigh invent the potato?
Well, he didn't invent the potato in that I don't think anyone actually has ever invented a root vegetable, because they're obviously being cultivated and used by people living in the Americas when he arrived there.
When Sir Walter Raleigh first saw potatoes, was he scared of them?
I think that when Sir Walter Raleigh first saw potatoes, not that we've
Look at the eyes. Oh my god, look at the eyes. He first almost laughs. Oh, that's a good picture of her. By the way, this guy is the World War guy, if you remember that sketch. She has the question of, like, why was World War One called World War One? Isn't it pessimistic to call it that way? That was hilarious. Look at the guy's eyes. Like, for a second, he almost laughs.
Scared of them?
I think that when Sir Walter Raleigh first saw potatoes,
Like, at that point, like, there is a tiny bit of, okay, then, like, he is very professional at keeping cool.
not that we've any documented records
But
on
you see it in
the
her,
moment
in
when
his
he first
eyes.
Walter Raleigh first saw potatoes, not that we've any documented records on the moment when he first beheld a potato or a field of potatoes. But I don't think he was scared of them. This is a buccaneering character, and I think that he probably was able to take on and manage his emotions whilst engaging with potatoes at first sight.
We still celebrate potatoes to this day by buying and eating them. It's amazing to think that Queen Elizabeth was the first British monarch to be impressed by a baked potato, and the last.
Oh, it's not
What
that
was the
bad.
Soviet onion?
Well, I think you're labouring under a misapprehension, and you probably mean the Soviet Union.
No, it's onion. I saw it on a bit of paper earlier.
Well, that's probably been misspelt, or you can't read very well. But I think that you mean, in historical terms, the Soviet Union, or the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics.
Oh, I don't want to be rude, but I think you're mansplaining a bit. Can we stick to the topic of the Soviet onion, please?
Okay.
What exactly was it? If you don't know, it's okay to say. You know, I won't judge you.
Well, if you want to talk about sort of Russian Soviet vegetables, we can. I mean, it was a deeply agrarian country. And so there were lots of onions, lots of potatoes, lots of other things.
Did they have turnips?
I think so. Cheap, easy to grow, hardy, great in a stew.
So how come you know so much about vegetables? Have you got an allotment? Why can't we...
The fact that he just goes with it like, okay, fair. I'm gonna answer this question then as an expert in this field. I love it.
get medicine crisps? You know, because no one
Well, I'm
likes...
sorry?
Why can't we get medicine crisps? You know, because no one likes needles and everyone likes crisps.
Well, there's a thing called the risk-benefit ratio. So whenever we do anything to a patient, we have to weigh up the harm we're doing as opposed to the good we're doing. And there's always a downside. And if we had medicine crisps, I think the amount of carbohydrate and fats and salt we'd be taking in with the crisps would outweigh the good that's done by the medicine. So I think that's a very good idea, actually.
Yeah, that's actually such a good question. Why do we use the specific like pills and like these sort of things instead of making it actually good to take them? That's actually interesting.
And like if you had like Monster Munch, that wouldn't work as well as medicines.
Sorry, Monster Munch. Could you explain that to me?
It's like a puffy crisp. They're lovely. You can get like pickled onion and beef.
Right. Again, I'd have to weigh up the risk-benefit ratio of, what did you call the monster?
Monster Munch.
Monster Munch mixed with the medicine, the bad it would do versus the good.
Right. Hello, I'm Philomena Cunk, and this is my new range of pasta sauces. I've got wheat-free pesto, reggae enchilada, and jerk tuna, along with 35 other delicious flavours. Oh yeah, I've got a book out as well. Conk on everything. Out November the 1st. Buy the pasta sauces though, because I'm really proud of those. What was...
In the US, we do have it like that with a certain medication, cookies, gummies, chocolate, all kinds of things. We have gummies in Europe. I don't know if like cookies, chocolate, or anything like that. Even mints. We have mints and gummies. If you don't isolate a medical substance, then you can't isolate its effects. Yeah, true. Dietary science is super complex, and diets are even more individualized than drug interactions. Very true. Yeah, it's such a funny like thought experiment.
Renaissance. Was that a sort of 16th century ketchup?
Renaissance comes from the French. Renaissance, naissance is birth. So it was seen as a rebirth.
So it's not a condiment at all?
No, not as far as I know.
Okay. What sauces did they use back then?
So this is an area of culinary history I'm not very familiar with, the history of sauces.
Oh, so you're not the sauce person?
I'm not predominantly a sauce person.
We're going to have to rethink this whole interview. Why do I have to actually come and film this? Couldn't a computer just show it on the telly in the simulation? Or is that where I am? You know, do I exist at all? Why is this happening? Why isn't it just me eating a chocolate eclair in a loop, like in a GIF? I'd swap for that. Could you talk me through what makes a perfect Christmas?
As I said, like the questions are so out of place and weirdly phrased that it just... I think that's the comedic value here. It's actually very cleverly written, I think. So out of place, so weird, that it just makes it absolutely amazing and enjoyable to watch. and listen to.
I'd swap for that. Could you talk me through what makes a perfect Christmas dinner?
Once you've got the right people around the table, you need a light starter. If you give people too much to, which is
Not
really
prawn cocktails.
well, I don't know. If you a good prawn cocktail's a lovely thing.
I don't like prawns.
Do you know?
No, they're bottom feeders.
Okay, I tend to do platters
feeders.
of charcuterie, salami, and ham, and maybe some pickles and things for people
I won't
to pick
have
at.
that. Yeah.
You wouldn't have that? No? Okay. And then you come to the main event. So maybe a 3-bird roast or a roast goose, bread sauce gravy.
I don't understand bread sauce.
It's a great way of making a really savoury sauce.
Bread and sauce are two completely different things, aren't they?
Well, they are, but you can grind the bread down and then cook it in milk to make a really good sauce.
It just looks like sort of cheese.
The face. He's like, okay. Here's the thing. Like, I cannot answer this. Like, he totally. That's the broken brain right there. The awkwardness of people being interviewed does it for me. Yeah, absolutely. And that was it.
Was there ever a
He just totally gave it up. Like, he went so well with the conversation though. Like, he answered, yeah, like, even when she interrupted a little bit, he was totally fine. And then from out of nowhere, she just knocked him out. It's like you know what it looks like, or it feels like, as a little like box match between her and the professionals. Like, okay, can she knock me out completely? Will I give it up? Like, will I not be able to answer? Will I laugh or something? I actually heard that when they record these, the experts laugh quite a few times during the interviews, and they are taught to, like, okay, like, laugh it out, then like go back and answer seriously. It's just amazing. All right, guys. This was Kung Food. I hope you enjoyed it. This was hilarious, I think. Oh God. So as I said, every Monday and Thursday on stream on Twitch, we have these reactions now on different topics. Now it was Kunk. Last time it was Nvidia's shenanigans with the 5000 series. I recommend tuning in and being here. Also, I upload these videos edited as well on YouTube every Monday and Thursday, so you can check them out on my YouTube as well. Oh, this was really funny.